Hello and welcome to the Kaizen Project. I am the Kaizen Man. Today's video is a follow-up to the one that I did about how to be healthy and happy at 80. In that video, I talked about mobility and flexibility of the joints. And a lot of you reached out to me and said, well, that's great, but how do you keep the joints mobile? So I'm gonna go through joint mobility with you today. The three main areas of the body that I'm gonna focus on are your shoulders, your spine, and your hips. Because most of the time, the injuries happen in your shoulders, in your lower back, and your hips. The first exercise that we're going to cover is for the shoulders. And these are basic shoulder rotations. And you're standing with your arms by the side. And you want to look towards making squares with your body, not circles. You want to bring the shoulder all the way forward, up into the ears, roll it back, and all the way down. You can do this with your breathing. You can inhale on the way forward and up, and then exhale on the way back and down. Do that a few times, about 5 times, and then go ahead and switch directions. You can start to go back and up, and then forward and down. Again, do this with the breathing, so you're keeping your body and breath connected. The next exercise for the shoulders is to windmill the arms all the way. So it kind of looks like a butterfly stroke where you're making big circles with your shoulders, going all the way forward, all the way back, and you can alternate which arm comes on top of the other. And you're just kind of making circles, and you can go as fast as you like. You can speed up or slow down. Do about 9 to 10 of these, and then go ahead and switch directions, go the other way, going back. The reason why you want to do this is because the shoulder joint can get very tight for a lot of us, especially if you spend time on the laptop, typing all the time, or if you're texting. And the last exercise for the shoulders is your scapular retraction and protraction. And this is actually an exercise that really none of us get any kind of stretching in throughout the day. And this is borrowed from the gymnastics training program. Starting off in a tabletop position with your wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. You're allowing your chest to drop through until the shoulder blades touch. And then you're gonna press into the hands and start to lift up the chest until the shoulder blades separate all the way. Note that you're keeping your arms nice and straight, you're keeping your hips neutral, and you're keeping your head neutral. So the only part of the body here that's moving is your chest up and down. Just to go through that one more time, starting off in tabletop, press into the hands, lift up the chest, separate the shoulder blades, and then on the exhale, let the chest come down until the shoulder blades touch. That completes the exercises for the shoulders. Moving on to the spine, and spinal mobility is very important. We finished off in tabletop position, and we're gonna carry on from there. So from tabletop, you can start to do what is known as the cat and cow pose. On the inhale, you're gonna look up towards the ceiling as you arch the back, draw the belly down towards the ground. On the exhale, start to bring the chin into the chest, round the back as you pull the belly button all the way into the spine. And you're gonna do this with your breathing. On the inhale, tuck the tailbone up towards the sky, look up towards the ceiling, and soften the shoulders as you arch the back. And then as you start to exhale, bring the chin to the chest, tailbone tucks forward, belly button pulls in as you round the back all the way. Really press into the hands here to round as much as you can, and then inhale, and do this 5 times on the exhale and 5 times on the inhale. This will really build a lot of mobility in your entire spine. Another great exercise for spinal mobility is standing twists. So you're standing with your feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart. You want to bring your arms up shoulder height, bring the fingertips to touch, and you just want to go side to side, looking over each shoulder. It helps to keep the muscles around the vertebrae flexible, keeps your spinal mobility healthy. One of the best exercises while you're standing up for the hips is you're drawing circles with the hips going as far out as you can, and you're really taking the hip bones all the way off to the side, all the way to the front, to the side and back. And again, you can do this with your breathing, inhaling on the way forward and exhaling on the way down. The idea behind this exercise is to draw circles with the hips and increase the mobility of the entire hip joint. Do this about 10 times on each side, trying to make as big circles as you can. Another great exercise for your hip joint is to have lateral movement, which is side to side movement. So you're standing with your feet wide apart. You're gonna start by bending the right knee. Keep both feet planted on the ground, parallel facing the front. As you start to bend the right knee, you wanna keep that left foot planted on the floor as you lower down as far as you can. Moving with your breathing, inhaling on the way up. As you exhale, bend the left knee as you lower down all the way, to the left side as far as you can. Keep planting that right foot on the ground. And you can combine this with your breathing as you inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down. Inhale on the way up and exhale on the way down. And the goal for this exercise is to find lateral or side-to-side movement with the hips. Once you're done that, you can go ahead and come down onto the mat or to the floor. Make sure you're nice and comfortable. Sitting on the floor with your shoulders over the hip bones and your legs are straight. You're gonna bend the right knee first. Go ahead and grab the back of the thigh as you take your left hand and grab your right foot. And just start to move the hip joint diagonally, going back and forth, trying to pull the knee as far back as you can, and just working on diagonal movement for the hip joints. This is because throughout the day, we're only moving the hip backward and forward, and we never really get any diagonal movement. So just to keep your hip joint mobile to its maximum degree, you want to make sure that you're getting diagonal movement as well. Do this on both sides. Do this about 10 times. So to recap what we talked about, 3 areas of the body that we focused on, starting off with shoulder rotations, windmill arms, and scapular retraction and protraction. Then we moved on to the spinal mobility by doing cat and cow pose, and also doing standing twists. Coming into the hip area, starting off with hip rotations, and then coming into side-to-side movement for the hips, and then ending off with diagonal movement for the hip joint as you're sitting on the ground. If you enjoyed that video, make sure that you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I have lots of very exciting stuff coming your way, so if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. Share it with your friends. You can always reach me on social media. Use the hashtag, the Kaizen Projekt with a K. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's the Kaizen Man signing out.